Hello and welcome back to the Gaming 5. When Nintendo randomly provided this review code for me, I was like... So I googled it because I literally had zero clue what it was. It was developed in Sweden, where all those white successful YouTubers come from. Delete. And even after playing it, I have zero clue how to describe it to you. It's a first-person, side-scrolling adventure puzzle game. This game is just so difficult to put into words, but know that it's based off folklore much like Never Alone, and that the name of the game is based off of a Swedish tradition intended to see into the future. Yep, you're seeing that. It's a first-person side-scroller. There really isn't that much to describe, to be honest. You adventure around and solve puzzles put forth in an effort to eventually get to the church. That's the entire basis of the game. Unfortunately, expect some moments of sincere confusion, as the game does little to even bother letting you know when you're in control and when you're not, as I embarrassingly sat here watching this screen for 30 seconds before I realized I had to do something. The puzzles themselves are rather simple, mostly because of a surprisingly good and handy use of the gamepad as a notepad. Believe me, this simple implementation goes a long way in speeding up your puzzle solving and is a very nice touch. Additionally, the gamepad's gyro controls are used, and while they're not overly painful, I didn't find an option to not use them. So if you have an extremely fatal allergy to gyro controls, you're out of luck. And well, that's it. Solve puzzles and move forward. You'll move forward so fast, in fact, that if you're like me, you'll beat the game in about an hour. Yep, I said it. I cleared the game's primary course in just an hour. While there is a follow-up ending to the ending, it requires access to the mobile app. More on that true ending later. The real crux of the issue here is that even at its fairly low cost of $7, it doesn't at all meet its price in content. $7 for 1 hour is a tough deal, and maybe if you're not an avid puzzle solver, you'll get an hour and a half, but no matter what, this is a tough sell on content unless you really have nothing better to put $7 towards. Here's where the game absolutely shines. It's not graphically intense, mind you, but instead just the right amount of eerie, creepy, and yet deeply and sadly morbid. The ambient music, the sound effects, the animations and art, it all comes together to paint a very unusual palette, one that not all people may be able to appreciate. What's more, that true ending is what makes this game deliver a darker story than one may initially even be willing to understand. While I won't spoil it, let's just say that once you have the full picture and the full story, you realize there was a very simple and very real tug at the one thing humans struggle most over in life, and sometimes the result is not always one we wish to believe is possible. In the end, it's this struggle that can drive a person to do things they seemingly would never do, and is the true ending to this darker story about treading into the future. This is a very short review because this game is very short and rather unchallenging. So short in fact that I have to reiterate that those looking for value may find themselves shocked at how quickly it's all over, even at a budget price. And while gamepad usage as a notepad is a fantastic idea, the forced gyro controls may further turn off players as those moments are often also entangled with confusion in which a small indicator would have gone a long way to let the player know they're in control. Yet in the end, the game nails something that matters: feeling. If you want to know the full story, just know that it doesn't end well, and it might just remind you that humans have a dark side. I give Year Walk an 8 out of 10. That's it for today. Subscribe for more gaming content delivered directly to your retinas. I'll see you next time on the Gaming 5.